Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. And man, George again to the right.
I am
with the arm hair out.
Yeah, you know,
You hairy beast.
It's raining today in Vegas, and I was like, it's time for my skin to touch some of this water. You know, I come from a Cuban lineage, so like I need moisturization in the air on my skin. If I don't lotion, I'm like a literal lizard. Yeah.
There's so many pauses that I could say to that, but I'll let you ride. I'm gonna let you have it.
Yeah, dude.
How's your weekend? Everything good?
Yeah, it's definitely wasn't as dry as my skin can be. The weekend was popping. I got a EOS gym membership.
Okay.
I showed you a video of a guy this morning. It was absolutely hilarious. The very first day I'm working out at EOS Fitness, I get to see a dude doing reverse, like walking, like he had his feet up in the air on a pull-up bar. He could have slammed his neck into the ground. Jordan, do you have display one?
He was doing too much.
Pulled up. I do. Okay, here I can play this video just to like help paint the picture for people.
Oh.
Right here. What the fuck is this, bro? I'm on the treadmill. It is 7 in the morning. You know that TikTok me? It's 7 in the morning. It's 7 in the morning. You can see I was huffing and puffing.
Oh, we getting some cat love?
Wow, that's a good thing that was the image that popped up. God damn.
That could have went left. It was like, and then the episode was flagged.
Wow.
Thank you, George. We will restart.
Oh, that is
start
great.
Again. That's crazy.
That's kind of what I did this weekend. I bought a turtle tank too.
Oh,
I have.
You got turtles now?
Yeah, I've had turtles. I have 2 turtles. I had a nice little tank set up, but they're growing. I haven't touched the turtles in about 6 months because I like to let them know that I respect them on that level. You know, I'm not like a child that just like, oh, look at my turtle every day. You know, like do weird shit. I just let them be. And now I gave them more space. I didn't realize how big they were. They definitely needed a new tank.
So wait. So, okay. As a turtle owner, you don't like talk to your turtle every day. You don't like spend time with the turtle. The turtle just lives.
It's kind of like, in a way, solitary confinement for the turtle. But he has another turtle to talk to, so it's not really solitary. If that turtle was alone in the tank, that's a depressed turtle.
My life is horrible. It could not get any worse than just these 4 glass walls.
It was actually 8. I had a nice little octagon tank at the time, so it was always confused, you know. But now they got space to swim and shit. I got a filter that, like, I was shocked. The filter is literally like this big. Yeah. It's like, whoa. That's what you need to clean up.
I actually am thinking about getting a dog. It's been a minute since I've had a dog. And your boy is alone, so we need to suck up some of this alone time.
Yeah.
Have a companion.
At least you're not like Nick, who's selling out to get pussy. You know, like he's like, let me get a dog. I just need to make sure I seal the deal today. It's like, come on, bro. Rely on your game. Rely on your game, Nick.
Yeah, no, I don't need a dog for vagina.
Yeah, no.
That's never been a struggle. But sorry, mom.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. I if I got a dog, the dog is for me. As I have a rule with dogs, George, and the rule simply is if your dog can't kill you and eat you if you mistreat him or aren't feeding him, that ain't a dog. It's like you literally have a turtle in the house. It's basically
correct. Yeah, no. That's a very good explanation. So you want it to be able to to kill you if it's not feeding.
Yeah,
you.
If I'm mistreating you and you want to just and buck up.
Yeah. That's a dog.
That's a dog. That's when you know you have trained an animal. Like when that dog is like, no, you're the alpha in this situation. I love you and I'm gonna be with you, and you know what I mean? That's a dog.
Yeah.
But when you like, you know what I'm saying, when the dog when I gotta protect my dog, I don't have a dog.
True.
I have another bill is what I have.
Yeah, I don't understand the small dogs. You may as well just buy a gerbil. You know, it's the same thing. A guinea pig.
That never made sense to me either. But let's quickly go around the world in sports. We're going to be having a pretty football heavy sports show today, obviously, with it being Super Bowl week and the Super Bowl being in Vegas for the first time at the glorious, magnificent Allegiant Stadium. But let's quickly go around the world in sports. Up first, Bradley Beal, former Wizard of mine, who is currently averaging the fewest points he's had since his third year in the NBA, decided to take all his vengeance and anger out on my lowly Wizards, who are hot trash juice, and drop 43 points.
Well, that's a revenge game at its finest right there. You knew he wasn't going back home and not proving that he was about to dominate.
Oh my! I'm like, oh, so now we can drive to the basket and get dunks. Like we're finishing at the cup now.
You played defense. You're like, where was this? Where was this at, Bradley?
Last 3 years has been like, any contact, any sign of contact, we're just gonna shoot.
18 points a game for Bradley Beal is what he's averaging right now. Mm-hmm. That's insane.
Yeah, not since his third year in the league. I think his third year was like 15 or 16 points a game. His third year in the league.
Yeah,
and so this is the lowest he's averaged since then.
Man.
So yeah. Way to take it out on the sad folks.
Yeah, I couldn't do that as a basketball player. Like, I know you're already making outrageous money. They always say, like, I'm making this like it's a money decision. But it's like, wouldn't you want to be the superstar, like on a half-assed team? By the way, the Suns aren't gonna make it to the Western Conference Finals.
They're not.
They might not make it.
They'll make the playoffs, but like I said, when this deal happened, they absolutely neutered their entire roster. Mm-hmm. They traded away everything for Bradley Beal, and then you get rid of DeAndre Ayton too, and it's like, bro, like y'all literally have nothing.
Yeah.
They had
it's a shell of themselves.
Yeah, they had like at one point last summer, they had 6 players on the roster. Mm-hmm. Like 6. It's not good. So I'm not shocked. KD has proven over the majority of the latter half of his career, ever since he went to Golden State, that in the end he's not an alpha. He's not the guy. Like, he's a great player. He's an all-time great player. And it was funny to me when he said, I should be in the GOAT conversation. And I was like, nigga, please. what GOAT conversation we having? But, you know what I mean? But, like, all that being said, he's not that person. Now, Devin Booker, they should have kept Chris Paul, even though Chris Paul is older.
Yeah.
That still was a better look, I feel like.
True. Felt like you were kind of holding on to like the best of Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul, where he's at right now, is ideal.
Yes.
I mean, it definitely fits better than the Suns fit was.
Yes.
Because like with the Suns, it's like, no. Like, we need you to be the guy. And
tonight,
and Chris Paul's like, wait a second, guys.
My hamstring gave out in Houston.
Do you guys not see what I did with the Clippers? Like, right around this time, I need lots of support. All right, I cannot make it past.
I need
the
rest.
Western Conference Finals.
I need rest.
Seriously.
But switching gears over to soccer quickly. MetLife Stadium is actually going to be hosting, George, the World Cup final in 2026. Was this the right choice?
Absolutely not. No. Everything I've heard about MetLife, it's just like it's the literal definition of a concrete jungle. It's just
no. I will say that MetLife is beautiful.
Okay,
it's actually very nice. When I Stan, remember Stan that was part of the fantasy? That's where I met Stan last year. Shout out to Stan at MetLife Stadium, and it's actually really nice. Remember, that was one of the first $1 billion stadiums that was built.
Yeah,
way back when,
$1.6 billion,
and that at the time was like insane. And even still today, that's still a solid stadium. But for me, I felt like either Mercedes-Benz or SoFi were the choice.
Yeah.
But
a dome would be sick.
I guess, you know what, though?
It would be so loud.
You know what, though? I didn't think about it. I don't know if they ever really do domes for World Cup finals. Jory in the back is saying no. I feel like, because like, think about it, when it was in Beijing, they built all those like real world class, but they all had open air.
Correct.
Paris, same thing, open air. Brazil, same thing. So it's always open. So I guess in that sense, yes. And that's better, honestly, than what is it, Sun Life now? I never know what Miami. No, it's Hard Rock. Hard Rock. They've changed that name. So see that quickly. I went through 2.
Literally,
they probably had about 5 more. But yeah, that's.
So by the looks of it, it definitely gives. It shouts, we can hold a lot of people in one area.
Yes.
And that I'm like, all right, pro MetLife, right? They're able to hold 82,500.
Yeah.
For football and soccer. Now, the one thing, because I'm not the most soccer inclined, I do know that the pitches are different sizes.
That's right.
I'm assuming
they
World Cup has like, this is the size.
Yes, and that actually for our fields, because a football field isn't as big.
Correct.
Truthfully. And so that was one of the things they were talking about with it being played in America, because our stadiums aren't necessarily that big. They're taking rows of seating out to add more grass, to add more room to the pitch itself. So I'm obviously that's what they would do for the final, and I'm pretty sure all of the games played in the U.S. they're going to be taking seats out.
I'm very just upset that we're not going to get one here in Vegas. Like,
yeah, that was
they released not even group play. I thought for the longest the reason why we kept having like soccer events was to prove, hey, we can do this.
Well, we're getting the Copa this summer.
Okay.
And so the Copa is basically all of America, like it's both Americas playing in a tournament. So we're going to be in the same tournament as Brazil. All right. And I want to say the finals are here at Allegiant. But yeah, no, I thought that as well. I think if I remember hearing right, we didn't put a application in time when all this was going on. Well, when all this was going on, we were still building. We were still talking about building.
Gotcha.
I think we're getting a Final Four, though.
At Allegiant?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. See, I'm not a fan. And I know we'll get into. I'm not a fan of basketball games played in football stadiums.
Oh, you haven't been to one. You haven't been to one.
I haven't been to one, but I'm just like assuming that I'll need binoculars. Without a doubt.
No. And so that's why. So I'm about to tell you. So I've been to 4 Final Fours when I was at the Hall of Fame, and I'll tell you the best one was Ford Field. Ford Field, it held 100,000 people, and it felt like you were just in a huge basketball arena. That's how it felt. It wasn't, because Ford Field isn't super big and all high.
Right.
Like it's still very compact, but it was still a lot of people. And now that they've put those like elevated floors, it's helped the depth perception.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
it's pretty elevated.
Oh yeah. They lift the floor probably about like 5 or 8 feet.
Gotcha.
And that little difference makes a big difference for the sight lines.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. But you already knew where my head was going with that, and it's just like it's too much.
Well, I'll tell you. So the worst two, first was Atlanta. That was my first, and so I saw that was when Joakim Noah and those guys won the championship. Epic. And so my seats, the court is here, and my seat was faced this way.
No.
So the whole game I was like this.
Oh god damn.
Yeah. So like the old domes, yes, because they were never built to support basketball.
For sure.
The new domes, they're building those with those things in mind.
Yeah.
In terms of, well, if we put a court here, how are the dynamics and how are the dimensions of the field going to look in that?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yep.
I just would like it to, sound loud. Like I feel like
It's loud.
I know, but I know I need to experience one.
You do.
And it'll change my mind. But until then, put that in a 20,000 seater and sell that mofo out.
Those tickets, good God.
Yeah.
The tickets in a dome are expensive. I couldn't imagine if it was like, yeah, we only got 20,000 seats now. Yeah. You want to come? No, I don't. No, I'll watch at home. I'll be at the crib. It's no problem. But
similar to the Super Bowl this year.
Where's oh my God. I keep Jory, I keep feeling like somebody's gonna hit me up like, hey bro, got an extra ticket. Like, yes, Jesus. I don't listen.
Wow, that's strong manifesting.
Well, the funny, crazy thing about my life, truthfully, especially here in Vegas, things just happen. I won't even, when you know enough people, things just randomly like, hey, I got an extra ticket. Hey, I think somebody's going to give their ticket away, like randomly, and it'll always be like day of. Mm-hmm. So like day of, usually I'm like by my phone and I'm like ready, like all the way up till kickoff. I'm ready.
Yeah, no, you got to be locked and loaded out here. Like I got a ticket tonight. See, and this is the thing where it was given to me. I don't know if tonight's media row or like where all the players in Allegiant. So like I have. Look at this, Josh. I have an extra ticket.
Look at that.
Do you want to go?
What time?
It's like I think it's doors open at 5. It starts at like 6.
I'll come. Oh, God bless it.
Yeah, I know.
Go.
But see,
this is
how fast things happen.
It happens. Okay. I got to go to one of my kids' senior nights for basketball. I haven't gone to one game all season.
You got to do that.
What time does it end?
That's the thing. I can give you the ticket, and then like if you end up making
I will make it
because that's the way I'm doing. I'm like,
yeah, I'll make it if I can for sure.
I mean, they said bring headphones too. So the way I think it works is like you get to go in the stadium, and then you just put in like your AirPods, and you can connect to different booths that like they have the microphone set up.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, at the end of the day, dude, it's like all the most important stuff's going to be on Twitter by 10 p.m. tonight. So I'll be. You know, the Patrick Mahomes, hey, how you feeling? You know?
We'll get to that.
Is Pops going to be in attendance? Yeah, no, we'll definitely. That's the one question I need answered, all right?
God, we're definitely going to talk about that. All right, before we switch over to the NFL, Joel Embiid will be out indefinitely with surgery on his meniscus. Embiid was on pace to be the first big man to average over 35 points a game and 10-plus rebounds since Wilt Chamberlain did it in 1965, George. And when Wilt Chamberlain did it, George, he averaged 38.9 and 23.5 rebounds a game.
Yeah, I know. When you said, like, he gets over 10 rebounds a game, and then I saw Chamberlain's stat, I was like, yeah, I don't think anybody, like, can we really say?
One of these things is not like the other, is what we're saying.
One of these things is not like the other. It's sad because all these people that think he's coming back this year, like, can we stop it? Like, no. Like, he's not. Because
with his history,
You want me to paint the picture for you? Okay, Joel Embiid projected to come back first round of the playoffs. Joel Embiid, first game. You can visibly see, like, all right, this is not the same guy that we had.
He's not right.
6 months ago, and then Philly fans start,
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Just have him not come back and let him win another MVP next year.
That's so tough. He was having a really, really good year. I was watching something where they were talking about basically the one horrible thing about the NBA is how narratives, we can't have him win another MVP. Let's give it to somebody that's having a good year, when in actuality, this was the year he should have won MVP. Mm-hmm. Last year, it should have been Jokic again. Man, shout out to Joel Embiid. Hopefully he gets healthy soon. The Sixers are playing well under Nick Nurse right now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see if they can weather the storm. I know they were top 3. I think they're second or third in the East right now. But man, yeah, that's no fun. That's no fun.
They're actually 5th in the East, but the East is it's all compact right now.
I feel like they probably lost a game or two since he's been down.
For sure. 30-18 though, they'll make it to the. They'll make it to the playoffs for sure.
They'll be in the play-in.
They'll
be in the play-in now.
Yeah.
All right, switching gears over to the NFL. Our NFL segment today is brought to you by our friends at Coco Love, the beverage of choice of the American Fan 365. Head over to www.cocolovewater for your own case of coconut refreshment. And be sure to use the code TAF365 for your Hawaiian beach vibes. Let's start, George, before we really get into Super Bowl week. Let's start just talking news NFL related that isn't about the Super Bowl. So up first, all NFL coaching vacancies, all head coaching vacancies. I know there's still like the Steelers. Lord, the Steelers are probably going to get Eric Bieniemy now, which honestly,
dangerous. That
could make them very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Especially if they mess around and get a young Russell Wilson. Yeah. There's been talks about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they kind of, I mean, they burned the bridge with
Oh,
Russell.
well. I mean, the Broncos. I still don't understand. They're going to be in cap hell for about 4 years.
But that's where you want your team.
In cap hell?
Yeah. No, because that shows that they're pushing the lines. We're not having to just hope oh my God, well maybe next year if we spend this $50 million that we saved, we'll be better. It's no, the Saints always do it. I love it. That's my favorite thing about the Saints.
Just
The Saints
let them go.
Legitimately salary cap what? Literally, they're always over, and no, so it's not a bad spot.
My team has $90 million in salary cap space, and I know we'll still do nothing with it. But yeah, first off, my team. Well, first we can start with the Seahawks because that happened first. The Seahawks poached Mike McDonald from the Ravens, from that high-powered defense, looking to bring that back over to Seattle. That was an interesting one because, obviously the whole situation with Ben Johnson last week and, my team flying to Detroit to interview him and then him letting them know while they're in the air, I know y'all had to go through all the FAA and all that stuff to get the flight, but yeah, I'm not coming.
I heard that he asked for a crazy amount.
Well, that was the word on the street, was that he was asking for too much money. But I didn't realize that he was sought after last year, and he did this last year too, where he was like, "I'm gonna just stay in Detroit."
Damn, dude, he's playing it right. He's just waiting until the number is exactly what he wants. Because Ben Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, is trying to do what all these young, offensive-minded whippersnappers do. You get the bag, and you tank the team, and you make sure they fire you, so that way you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to sit on your couch.
Well, and twice. Because even if you don't sit on your couch, say you do get another job, they still have to keep paying you.
Oh, yeah.
So I get paid twice. I'll be getting a check over here and a check over there. It's not a bad life.
Yeah, and then you just blame it on the front office.
This year had some solid options. You don't want to be the head coach of the Jags or the head coach of the Browns. Or, there's certain organizations that are flagship organizations in the league that had head coaching vacancies that he didn't look at. Obviously the Patriots kind of were, even though that was more or less a foregone conclusion. But the Falcons, that's a great job.
Yeah.
Brand new stadium, fan base that loves their football, loves their team, isn't I would say super cynical. My fan base is cynical as all get out. But Atlanta, they've never won. So it's not like you're still holding on to this past glory.
You just got to be somewhat competitive.
Yeah. If you go in there and you're exciting, the fans will show up. You know what I'm saying? But it was them. Who else was vacant? Seattle, obviously. The Chargers was a great team.
Correct.
Horrible ownership group, so there's that side of it. What other teams, George? Was there anybody else?
Cardinals?
No. Cardinals didn't fire their coach.
Raiders?
But Raiders was kind of...
It was a given.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. Max Crosby he threw down the gauntlet, was like, if you don't bring back Pierce, I'm out.
Yeah, no, it would say it's an all-time move from the show we just watched on HBO with, what the heck was it called? Winning Time.
With Magic Johnson.
Yeah. Magic
I knew what you meant.
No, I want Pat Riley as a coach. And then Jerry Buss, of course, all right. you're fucking out of here, dude.
Pat Riley's a coach.
Yeah, Pat Riley's a coach. Yeah, whatever Magic wants, we do, all right? That's the same exact situation. The Saints should have fired Dennis Allen, but that didn't happen. So that's a bummer. And I guess it's just time now, Josh.
Panthers was the other one.
It's just time now to know. Is Dan Quinn going to lead the Commanders back to the promised lands? Is it going to happen?
Oh God. Oh, okay.
28-3. What? 28-3.
Hey, you know what though? Even when they say 28-3, I still had to get there.
True.
So there is always that side of it. Now, are you able to do it again? Because, we've talked about Dak Prescott and mental scarring and, all that kind of stuff. Are you able to have those kind of failures and then get through them and get to the other side of the mountain? And a lot of times in sports, when you have those kind of like historic collapses, dudes don't necessarily come back ready to go.
Yeah.
So.
And his last showing, his very last showing.
Oh, yeah, it was unfortunate.
They just got put on by the Packers. Aaron Jones went bananas.
Yeah.
And so, but no. But before then, though, Deron Bland, NFL record for most pick sixes.
Yeah.
Who can ever forget that?
Well, and so the other side of that too, the defensive coordinator that we hired under him is the secondary coach from the Cowboys. So, and was a brother. So I was like, oh, okay, we haven't had a black coordinator in God knows how long. Maybe Ray Rhodes?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bieniemy.
Oh, all right. This year.
Yeah,
before this year.
Bieniemy broke the color barrier.
Yeah, he
did what others couldn't.
He did. It had been, I want to say it had been since like early 2000 with Ray Rhodes.
Wow.
That was the last time. So, to see that, I was like, okay. And I feel like he's younger. So, I was like, oh, okay, that's good.
Yep.
And their secondary, look, Trayvon Diggs, you know what I mean? Bland this year. Their secondary wasn't necessarily the issue. But, sometimes it was. But we did also hire Cliff Kingsbury. So, we'll see how that plays out. We were talking before the show started about us going and getting Caleb Williams. You all know how I feel about that. Trade down, get more picks, draft an offensive lineman, or draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and just keep moving forward, Sam Howell. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
Because I don't love, there's no quarterback. This isn't Justin Herbert or, Joe Burrow or those guys where you're like, man, he's special. These are good college quarterbacks that I feel like they could do well. They also might not do well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to be in the mindset, though, and hey, we build it up in 2 years, we'll pay for him. You know what I mean? So, once we figure out of this class who pans out, you're going to pay for, in my opinion, somebody who's going to stand out. I think Michael Penix will be a pretty good NFL quarterback. I think he's got the potential out of this class. He's probably my most favorite one. Slept on, but then look at the past 7 drafts and look at the slept on quarterbacks.
Yep. And
they always tend to be the ones that perform well.
You want to know why though too? Because, and this is probably going to happen for Penix as well, he's going to fall. And when you fall, you tend to fall to better teams, more established, better overall rosters, usually has a coach in place. All of those things go to your advantage. These teams that are picking at the top, the reason most of these quarterbacks flame out is because there isn't a plan. We're hoping that you come in and save us. And when those things don't happen and then the fan base turns on you, I guess we got to try again next year. That's the rinse and repeat that my team always is on, and teams like my team have been on for many, many years, whereas teams like the Packers just go from glory to glory to glory. 3 straight franchise quarterbacks, it looks like.
You know what you guys probably need? I just was looking at the NFL draft stock. Brock Bowers, the tight end from Georgia, you guys would benefit. I think it's the position that it's not that it's looked over, right? But it's really imperative to setting an edge and having somebody to get some mismatch. That kid's a stud.
He's a stud, but I feel like we have I feel like you could put a Band-Aid on tight end through free agency if you care to.
Right.
Versus taking a top 10. Somebody, you know what I mean? If we had a solid team and that was man, we need a tight end. Okay, go ahead and get him. Bro, we got holes on the roster.
There was moments in time last season, I'm recalling just now, that you guys ran the ball 8 times in an NFL game, which is I had to do the research, and they were setting NFL records for how little they were running the ball.
We weren't ready.
Yeah. But you have Brock Bowers out there, engage, set the edge. The Commanders could be good.
Oh, my goodness. All right, moving on, George. The NFC held off the AFC 64-59 in a victory of the Battle of the Mannings during the Pro Bowl. First off, I thought the Pro Bowl was here. And then when I started seeing highlights, I was like, what kind of blue sky is that?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it was in Jacksonville. Not Jacksonville, it was in Orlando.
Yeah.
This year. Did you watch a minute of this game, George?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Thank you.
I'd say probably the thing I watched the most, and I don't understand why it kept popping up, was Jason Kelsey's trying to snap it into the 5-hole. He spent all 40 seconds. It was the long snapping challenge.
Oh, okay.
And they have you have to throw it through the hole and stuff while
Pause.
long snapping it. And Jason Kelsey was just trying to go for the 5-hole the entire time. And then he finally got it at the end. But that was the only thing I saw from the weekend.
Dang.
Yeah.
I did not watch even a second. Not even one.
Did you see the golf? They were making him play golf. They had that was pretty funny. Seeing a whole bunch of NFL players golf just like how I do, and the ball was just
slice.
No, just not even a slice, bro. That ball was going right. It was bad.
It never had a chance to be straight.
Nope.
Yeah. It was definitely unfortunate. I just wish at some point they could actually care. Actually care. Because if they cared, then I would watch. But if y'all don't care, if you guys are going to throw 4 hours of nonsense together on TV and expect me to actually tune in, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the NFL, you should stop trying to portray this as football. This isn't football.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's soft. It shouts literally a very soft brand of what the NFL is. Very family friendly. I just don't get the fans on the field to play. Let's make it a flag football game, but you're picking people randos from the crowd. Every quarter you get 10 new players on your team. So you got Jalen Hurts and then Jerry from accounting, running a slant route, just getting, I would love to see
I don't know if we have the medical coverage for that kind of endeavor, George.
I know, but you see,
waivers would have to be airtight.
Yeah, the NFL has got to figure something out here because none of it was entertaining. And you just want to see somebody get hit, or you want to see fans embarrass themselves.
Yeah.
Equally as entertaining, I would imagine.
Interesting because so I don't know if you're old enough to remember when they used to do the quarterback club and all those different competitions that the 40-yard dash.
Yes. Yes.
Bring back those things because those elements were actually exciting. Mm-hmm. And I feel and they have in certain ways. I saw maybe last year or so, they're doing different things with the quarterbacks. And I was okay, that's actually exciting. Promote it though. Yeah. I don't know when those things are. I don't know what days those are.
The same people in charge of promoting the NBA in-season tournament were in charge of promoting the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, not very much.
Yeah, there was nothing done.
Very little. All right, moving on. Last bit of NFL news that wasn't Super Bowl related. George, and I know that you have the picture queued up for this. Bills fans, we've now hit the next stage in your fan cycle. George, do you have the?
Yeah. Go ahead.
There's the picture. So we were here. First off, shout out to Ghetto Gronk at Ghetto Gronk on Instagram for this post. But we were here. Lose heartbreaking playoff game to the Chiefs. Check. We did that. Now we're at the point, George, of off season of cryptic Stefan Diggs drama.
Ooh,
and I'll tell you what Stefan Diggs said during the Pro Bowl because he was a Pro Bowler this year. He did have a good season. Everybody was trying to talk trash. But so Stefan Diggs says, I feel like I take it day by day. Obviously, there's a lot of changes going on, a lot of things going on. I can't really put the carriage before the horse. You know what I'm saying? But I got a great offseason in front of me to put a lot of work in and kind of build around what we got and what we're doing. And then he says, so then they ask him, well, what does that mean? He's like, I can't tell you what the future holds, but I'm still being me. Then, asked whether he was ready to move forward with the Bills, Diggs replied, I'm ready to go no matter which way it goes. He did not elaborate. So
my man's speaking in Morse code right now. Just figure it out. Da Vinci Code. Figure this out.
At any point, it's just easy to say, I love being in Buffalo. I've been a Pro Bowl here multiple years. I'm excited for the future. We're going to get this done. That's all you have to say. There's no ambiguity, no nothing. Bro, you have PR training. It's not that difficult to just say, I'm excited to be here. I'm looking to continue to get better and get over the final hurdle and get us to the Super Bowl. That's all you have to say. And no one will ever say a word to you.
No,
there won't be anything. But again, shout out to this, because the second I read this article, I was like, oh my God, we've hit the second stage.
Yeah.
Like it's literally what happens.
I don't know. I kind of am going to put work in over the summer, I think.
Maybe.
I don't know. This has like the startings of like Antonio Brown type finish. Does it not? Where it's just like, man, you're amazing. You're great. Let's just keep doing that. Let's keep our head on straight. Let's not try to veer into like this world of making people not sure if you really care or not. I think how do you feel like his career panned out if he would have stayed for the Vikings? If he would have stayed on the Vikings, do you think he would have had a better overall career than the time he's had with the Bills?
I'll say this, because they wouldn't have drafted Justin Jefferson. So then it would have been him and Thiti still figuring it out with Kirk Cousins. And, Kirk already was, especially at that point in his career, still was making a lot of bad decisions. And so Stefan Diggs wanted to go somewhere with a more elite quarterback. He did that successfully. He did have to go outside in the cold to do it, but he did that.
Yeah.
If he would have stayed there and they get Justin Jefferson and then they have like a three-headed monster for a period, that could have been beyond elite. They would have had the best receiving core in the league.
No, I that's something that just played into my head, because I'm like, he really is the star receiver in both regards, no matter what team you would have chose. But this whole like going out and playing in Buffalo is a real thing. And I think he, like, especially after the season and kind of like putting all the puzzle pieces together of what he wants for his career, he's like, dude, I kind of don't want to do this in Buffalo, New York anymore. Stefan Diggs, like, just shouts, he's a me guy, where it's like, Stefan Diggs, they just lost the game. He goes out there, stands and watches the confetti. We all know the meme I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Me guy. Cryptic off-season shit always points back to me. Give the spotlight to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's make him a me guy and move him to a place where he would be like in the spotlight. Perhaps the Rams.
No, don't need him. They got Puka now. Puka and Cooper?
Well, we keep saying Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp is like what? A slant away from being injured every season. And it's like, he had an amazing, like the year that they won the Super Bowl, phenomenal, right? But he has not gotten back to that level of Cooper Kupp since then. And now we're 2 years removed. So
I'm trying to think where he could go. Like I'm really trying to place him.
Okay, send him to the other team in Los Angeles. Let Harbaugh do
Chargers. Yeah. Chargers wouldn't be a bad team. The Steelers wouldn't be a bad team.
True. Oh my God. Have him go to the Steelers, and just to fulfill the prophecy of he's the next Antonio Brown. He'll come out with an album in 7 years. Mark my words.
Oh my goodness. Well, all right, George, switching over finally to the Super Bowl. First things first, Patrick Mahomes Sr. was arrested for a third DWI, which also could carry a 10-year prison sentence. When I saw that, I was like, nigga.
Damn.
Bro, first off, can we please get him a Uber sponsorship?
Yeah.
If anybody was in line for an Uber sponsorship and could do commercials for Uber, like completely drunk, like, Uber, thanks for getting me home safe. Like, this is that's a great marketing tool. Put him out there and be like, hey, no jail sentences.
Yes. Just
whitewash Uber. Just watermark Uber, and then that's it.
Yeah. Or, yeah, it'll be super sad, and then like the very last 3 seconds, it's just Uber, like on a white screen. It's just like,
oh my God. Oh no, this is so horrible.
But he's behind bars when he's doing it.
I'm gonna say it. There's like a cut to scene. It's like, no, mama. And then it's like, Uber. Do this instead.
Patrick Mahomes, says the reason he lost was because he couldn't focus because his dad was in jail.
But
that's
Justin
nuts.
when I first sat down, he will be attending the Super Bowl. He is allowed to travel, so they're allowing him to travel. So he will actually be in the house. Now,
not a good move.
Now,
not a good move. No, not a good move.
I'll say this.
That is Josh. That is not a good move. Well, he needs to sit his ass at home for this Super Bowl. Yes.
Well, be that as it may, it might be his last Super Bowl. Let's start there. What? So let's not just be missing out.
You're thinking about worst case.
Let's not just be missing out on Super Bowls.
Enjoy the fresh air while you have it, buddy.
Let's make sure we take in all these moments. That's first. But second, there's plenty of places to hide a man in an arena of that many people. Like, he can be in the back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when the confetti drops, then he comes out and he's like, "We smoking on Bay Area blunts." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We smoking on the Purdy Pack or the I'm drinking shanty whiskey. I don't know. Like, oh God, nothing with drinking. That's probably not a good time for that. Not a good time.
No more cigars though. Let me see him smoke some Newports, like a pack of Newports after the game, one in the ear, and just has them on deck. You know what I mean?
Got to be menthol. They have to be menthol for sure. Yeah, not a question. Yeah. But George, both teams have arrived in Vegas for the biggest game of the year and a rematch of the last presidential cycle, which is crazy to think about. So in 2020, when they faced off the first time, it was Trump versus Biden. And now in 2024, they face each other again, and it's Trump versus Biden again. So this one could determine who our president is going to be. So if the Chiefs win again, we might have 4 more years of Democratic rule, or if the Niners win, it could be tyranny in the streets.
I love that life pans out like this, and it just you can make the weirdest storylines out of anything. But yeah, you never know. You never know. A 49ers Super Bowl could be the end of the United States of America. So just be careful, all right?
That is too funny. Oh, my goodness. Okay, break right here. Because I have to send you – I completely forgot to send you my bets for the game.
Got you.
Give me a sec.
You got that time code, Jory? Around that time?
All right. I made sure to give myself a little bit of a break there too, so I can jump back in. I got to it and was like, "Oh snap! I did not send that." Did you have any parlays, George, that you wanted to put up?
Parlay?
Yeah, for the game that you've already done. Have you done any?
No, I'm kind of fucking on FanDuel right now, having a blast. There's just so much stuff on the Super Bowl. It's
all right. Let me
the greatest time of the year.
Okay, all right. So first,
I do know what I want though. That's not going to take me too long to whip something up.
All right, I'll send you that one. Okay, I'm gonna send all these to you on IG. And it got quiet in here.
Yeah, dog. It'll be easy to find on the timeline.
Right? Okay. All right. So this one, I'm going to send them individual so you don't have to do all that weird stuff. Okay. I sent all 3.
Beautiful.
All right.
Let me just save that to downloads.
Yep. All right, Jory. Once George is ready, would just count me in, or I'll count. I'll just count myself in. Okay.
Go ahead, buddy.
All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, George. I'm gonna give you my bets for the big game. I'm gonna give you the parlays that I have already set up. So the first one and the second, my second parlay is gonna kind of blend off of this. The first one, Travis Kelce for Super Bowl MVP. And the only reason I say this was because it was plus 1,200. When we talk about all the, everyone talking about the Taylor Swift element of things, all of those things. And also when you look at the Chiefs as a team in general, outside of Mahomes, a slight dash of Pacheco, Travis Kelce obviously is going to be the person that's going to get the lion's share of the attention, the lion's share of the opportunities, and has the ability to take over the game if he so chooses, especially the way that their defenses looked.
Yeah.
So at plus 1,200, I'm paying $5 and it's giving me 65.
That's a nice spot to be.
$5.
You're sprinkling out a whole bunch here.
It's a $5 foot long. That's nothing.
And it's a fun one to have as like a long shot that actually has a chance. You know? Receivers have won it in the past. Running backs have won it in the past. Defense players have won it in the past.
No tight end has ever won.
No tight end.
Yeah, I don't think so, right?
So he could be the first.
That would be dope.
I'm sure one of those years where it was like Gronk should have won it, but then Brady. It's like, how do you not give it to Brady?
You give it to Brady.
But that's the risk you run with the Super Bowl MVP. No, I think it will be the game plan for the Chiefs to get Travis Kelce the ball as much as possible, because nothing infuriates a defense more. And I know Steve Wilks right now, as I'm saying this, Steve Wilks is watching film of Travis Kelce. Like, I am without a doubt, he's like, this man's not going to stop us. This man will 100% stop you guys. Like, he is going to, just undress the 2 premier linebackers in the league.
Yeah.
Because I just think he's that much more superior. And it's not even that Travis Kelce's that much more superior. The game plan itself around Travis Kelce is that much better than anything Steve Wilks is going to put out. And it doesn't matter how good Dre Greenlaw or Fred Warner is. The man's going to be open. Like, they're always going to take away the deep, play up on the short, and it just so happens that ball's always going to go to Travis Kelce.
I'll make sure to clip in the Jamar Chase. I'm always effing open right there. That's good
I'm always
stuff.
fucking open.
I'm always open. What's go ahead, give me a parlay.
Well, let me give you my Super Bowl long shot for MVP here.
Okay.
All right. I've been seeing it. It is the rumblings of Sam Darnold, the backup quarterback for the 49ers. Okay. And trust me, I am full Chiefs. But if I am going to have a little bit of fun here, all right, Brock Purdy gets hurt in the first quarter, and then you get Sam Darnold coming in. If Sam Darnold wins the game, Sam Darnold does not even need to have a good game. Think about that. Sam Darnold, if Brock Purdy gets hurt in the first quarter, Sam Darnold wins the game, he's winning the award. He's going to win the award, because it's just like, oh my God, how did the backup quarterback come and do this? That's 30 to 1. Not 30 to 1, 300 to 1. So your $5 bet would win you $1,500.
Good God.
Yeah. I mean, hey, my man is going to be holding a clipboard to start that game. He could end up being your MVP. All right. So that's a long shot that I've just like kind of been keeping on the back burner there.
Okay.
Here's a little question, because I didn't even look this up. Who's the backup quarterback for the Chiefs?
Oh no.
Do you have it, Jory?
It's not. Isn't
that crazy that we can't even fucking like?
No.
Is there one?
well, because it used to be. It was, what's his name?
Chad Henne.
Chad Henne, but Chad Henne retired, and I do not know
who is the backup quarterback.
Blaine Gabbert.
Is it Blaine? Okay, all right.
Not a bad backup.
That's a first round pick.
Give me both of them. I want it on a just straight bet both, just in case random shit happens. Same exact situation for Blaine. If he just wins the game, he wins the award.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But now you got some parlays in here.
I do. So the first one, it builds off of, like I said, it builds off of that Travis Kelce MVP. So it starts with Kelce over 6.5 receptions, which he's been doing that comfortably most of these games. Travis Kelce over 69.5 receiving yards, which if he wins MVP, obviously he's going to have to go over that. Patrick Mahomes total passing yards over 260.5. Christian McCaffrey to score a touchdown because that fool scores a touchdown every game.
Yeah, that's that's like the sun coming up every
day.
Yeah,
you're not really I'm not really breaking news with that one.
The anytime touchdown for Christian McCaffrey is at -220 right now. That is
crazy.
Sick.
That's crazy.
That is sick. Hey, give me the fucking no on that. If there's a no option, Christian McCaffrey not to score, it's the only way you can make money on that.
That's true. Travis Kelce to score a touchdown, Isaiah Pacheco to score a touchdown, and then Chiefs money line, it was plus 1,800.
That's yeah. No, I always enjoy same game parlays, and this is one you put in yourself. Yes, this wasn't one that was pre-made.
No. I put that in myself.
The cheese on the rat trap is what I like to call those little pre-made ones that they juice the lines for shit that doesn't even matter. This makes sense to me. Now you get whenever you're choosing 3 people to score anytime touchdowns, it's so tough in the Super Bowl because I always think you got the best teams, you got the best players, but then in reality, what ends up happening is like there's not that many touchdowns scored.
Yeah,
like a lot of the Super Bowls that I've watched my entire life have been a field goal fest in a way. So to have those 3 premier players score, that's where I'm seeing. I think the rest of it looks amazing, right? But maybe if you got rid of Isaiah Pacheco, that would like be one that I'm like.
I feel like Pacheco's definitely going to score. I feel like Pacheco would score probably more than Kelce would score.
The odds show that. But I think.
But yeah, I mean, but if Kelce, my only thing is if I'm saying Kelce going win the MVP, that's the reason why I put that together like that.
You need him to ball out.
Well, did you have a parlay you want to talk about?
Yes, I did. I have it right here on my little FanDuel right here. So it's funny. It relates back to the same thing that you were talking about with Travis Kelce scoring an anytime touchdown. Also, give me George Kittle to score an anytime touchdown. So tight ends, I'm showing you some love here. Don't screw me. But it's at plus 388 on FanDuel right now.
Wow.
So a little 3-to-1 money. And on 2 players that I'm like, they can for sure do this. Now, George Kittle, not so as much as Travis Kelce is like this is who I'm going to in the red zone. I mean, but why would you go to George Kittle when you have all those other options? But that's why he's going to score.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're like, there's so many other things that they have to stop. The last thing you expect is George Kittle hard block for a 2 count, delayed route on an arrow, touchdown, wide open. Everyone's like, how did the Chiefs not prepare for that?
That sail route, those sail routes, I swear to God.
Yeah. That's the only parlay that as I was frantically putting it in when you were like, George, do you have anything right now? I'm like, yeah, I got something for you, buddy. But I have your second parlay pulled up.
Yeah. My last one's a little bit easier. Obviously, I took the Chiefs plus 2. I still feel like the Chiefs are going to win outright, so that's why I take the points there. Pacheco to score a touchdown, like I said. Marquez Valdez-Scantling to get 2 receptions or more. Isaiah Pacheco to have 4 receptions or more, and Brock Purdy to have 12.5 rushing yards.
Oh, I'm going to put a good deal of cash on Brock Purdy's rushing yards. After what he did last week, I was like, it's still in his brain, bro. He's like, oh, pocket breaks down, I'm taking off.
Yeah.
And all you need for 12.5
is one of those.
Literally one. Like, he won't be running when he sees
2 maybe
trouble. You know what I mean? But I love that prop. I missed it last week against the Lions. But I
didn't miss it. I had it, but
I like that 23-to-1 there.
The Ravens Chiefs messed me up. I had everything else. Ravens Chiefs messed that up. But anyway, All right, George, what will it take for the Niners to win their 6th championship, joining the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots?
They got to score first, and that is literally the only thing that they need to do if they want to take over this game. You cannot have Brock Purdy in the biggest game of his career playing from behind. You were handed 2 games that led you up to this point, in spots where, you know, Brock Purdy had to step up a little bit and come from behind. If you need Brock Purdy to do that a third time, it's not going to happen. You got to score first. So if I'm the 49ers, and you know, they have the special coin for the Super Bowl, but if I'm the 49ers and I win this toss, like, I got to take the ball.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I got to take the ball.
You're not going to defer.
No. Because if you put yourself in that position to stop Patrick Mahomes on the first drive and it doesn't happen, like, dude, I don't and you had the option to take the ball, that right there will tell me just about everything I need to know as far as mentality wise. And it's super simple, but I think that's what I need to do this Super Bowl. And for 2 weeks of us analyzing this game, you can start thinking about the subtle nuances of everything. This one is a really straightforward thing. Look to see if the 49ers score first. If they do, I think the Chiefs will be in trouble.
Okay. I'm 100% with you there. The Chiefs have scored a field goal or a touchdown every first drive that they've had this postseason. So if they are starting behind, especially if you get down 2 possessions or more,
it's bad.
This is Andy Reid, and they're not going to give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, if you decide to take it, because like the Lions, in some ways, they gave them the game because they didn't kick field goals when they should.
Andy Reid would have kicked those field goals.
Yeah. I mean, because you prolong the game.
Yes.
You know, first off,
you got to play winning football.
Yeah.
In the postseason, like that, it's not fucking Madden.
Yeah, you can't play games. You can't play games, man. It's 4th and 5. We kicking. We not going to just drop back and pray again.
You trust the defense, and you live to fight another day.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you know, it's really, for me, it's going to come down to their defense. If their defense steps up, if their defense plays well and can slow the Chiefs down, they have a chance. But their defense has not played overall well for the better part of a month. So if they do look bad and their offense comes out quiet or not clicking for a moment or whatever, it could be a long day.
100%.
What will it take for the Chiefs to become the 8th team to go back-to-back in the first in 20 years since the Patriots in 03 and 04?
This is another simple one, but it goes for the end of the game. If Patrick Mahomes has the ball last, it's over. Whether it's victory formation or he's got a little bit of time left on the clock to go down and beat you, if Patrick Mahomes gets the ball last, the Chiefs have won the Super Bowl. And I mean, I do think this game will be lopsided. I do think the Chiefs have the possibility of embarrassing the 49ers. But I know that wasn't necessarily like a huge takeaway. I guess in order for that to happen, though, you need to have a turnover early on. Like, you got to have Brock Purdy having the Dak Prescott eyes and feeling like, holy shit, this moment is too big for me. And if the defense able to provide that, dude, it's almost like such a sense of relief knowing that you got Patrick Mahomes at plus money. Okay. He's going to make me so much money, Josh.
How are they the dog? That's still so crazy to me. But
I'm surprised it didn't flip, honestly.
I'm glad it held on for a day or two for me to get these bets in.
Yeah, no, and it's going to stay. Now, I mean, I thought, if anything, I told my uncle yesterday, I was like, I hope this DWI, like, really, I hope Patrick Mahomes says, like, oh, I'm super affected by this. See that number go up to like plus 120? See it to go up to like plus 130?
They're plus 4 now. Like, please take that.
No, I think the thing that I guess helps the Chiefs the most, aside from the things that I provided earlier, is that they've been in the big game recently. And as recent as this time last year, that they understand the TV timeouts, they understand the production side of it all.
The halftime, all that.
And, you know, not to gas out early in the game, and all that stuff desperately matters.
It does.
And it also feels good. The Chiefs were playing the Raiders at Allegiant not too long ago, this past season.
Yes.
They went down early, 14-0, and Patrick Mahomes stormed back, and they ended up winning like 31-17 against the Raiders. So it's like comfortability of the building too, like knowing that like, oh, I've done it here before.
I actually was talking to somebody about that, because when it comes down to it, the Niners have never played here before. The Chiefs have played here multiple times now, so they know what Vegas is. They know how to like, yeah, we're not going out gambling because, yeah, we're not supposed to when we're in town. So that isn't new news. That isn't like, there isn't a Vegas factor, I think, for them.
Yeah.
They've been here before. They've roomed and stayed here before. So yeah, for that, I think that does give them a level of comfort. They've been in these locker rooms before.
Yep.
All of that stuff quietly does have an effect. Who George, are some of your quiet stars for the game? Players that may not have the star name recognition for each team, but could make a huge impact. Who do you have?
So a player for the Chiefs that I've had my eye on a lot recently, because like I always think of the game in the eyes of a defensive coordinator, and obviously you're trying to take away Travis Kelce this upcoming week. But Noah Gray, the tight end for the Chiefs, is secretly one of the better tight ends in the league. And I think that if they get a lot of attention and 2 tight end sets drawn to Kelce, you're going to see Noah Gray make a couple of big plays. And a lot of his props are really low.
Okay.
So look at a couple of like those Noah Gray over props. I'm going to try to find one before we get off here. But who's one of your silent stars going into the game?
For the Chiefs, I've got Willie Gay. Willie Gay was injured for the game versus the Ravens, but the game before that versus who did they play before that? It was the who they play in the divisional round.
I'm sorry,
C.J. Stroud.
You're talking about
the Chiefs.
The Chiefs
Willie
played.
Gay. They played the Ravens. Then before that they played who? I know before that they played the Dolphins. Who they play in the divisional round? It was the Texans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No? Texans played the Ravens.
Oh. Who was on the other? The Bills.
Yes.
The Bills. So Willie Gay was
we had a whole poster
seriously, right? Willie Gay's responsibility in that game was spying Josh Allen. He's a fast sideline to sideline linebacker.
Right.
I feel like him being around Christian McCaffrey, I think that he has the opportunity to make some impact plays. And then for the Niners, who did you have?
Let's see here. The Niners, I mean, they're so like star loaded, right? So, I mean, I'm going to talk about their 10th best player on their team, Brock Purdy.
Okay.
I mean, who said that earlier this week?
Cam Newton.
Oh, Cam Newton said you're the 10th best player on the team, and it's like, damn. Yeah, no, he is a player that obviously is going to get the most spotlight, but when you talk about all the other players in sync, like if Debo has a bad game, if Christian McCaffrey has a bad game, if George Kittle has a bad game, if anybody on that defensive side really struggles, they will get more of the blame, I feel, than a Brock Purdy will. Like, you can roll off of Brock Purdy a lot easier than the other ones. Let me just see, though. There's Dre Greenlaw. I mean, Dre Greenlaw has been a fire starter on that team. He's kind of playing second fiddle to Fred Warner. But I think we saw it a little bit this last game that Dre Greenlaw means, I would say, almost more than Fred Warner does at points in time, because playing that weak side of the field, you have to cover a lot more ground a lot of times. So, Dre Greenlaw.
For me, for the Niners, I'm going to say Kyle Juszczyk. Both opening up running lanes, but then also you mentioned last week in terms of him being split out, being kind of a tight end or an H-back and getting options out of the passing game as well. I think that he, like you said, they're star laden. They have plenty of stars. So there's plenty of people that have names on their team. Whereas the Chiefs, they have quite a few guys that even though they won a Super Bowl, you still don't know all the players on their team.
100%.
Their stars are stars, but like those other dudes is like, oh, who's 38?
Yeah,
like you don't really know.
No, for sure.
So, so I'll go Kyle Juszczyk. We can go quickly through some prop bets if you want, and then just give our final score predictions. I'll say just some prop bet locks for the game. Mahomes over 265 yards for the game, even though the Niners have allowed 260 or fewer in the last 5 playoff games. And then also I've got
The prop god over here.
Mahomes over 1.5 touchdown passes. Like those are easy. He's done it 7 of his last 9 playoff games. He's had at least 2 touchdowns.
Jesus.
So that one, I mean, like both of those, you'll do pretty well.
Give me, as far as a prop of the lock of the year that has happened, probably the last 4 out of the 5 Super Bowls, is more than 2 players to record a pass. So it'll be set at over under 2.5. So you're betting on either a gadget play or, like I painted the scenario of a quarterback goes down for a play and you get Sam Darnold in there to throw an arrow route, and then boom, your prop hits. But a majority of the time it'll come from a double reverse flea flicker type.
Hines Ward to Antoine Randall.
Yeah, Philly special.
Yeah.
So you can see in past Super Bowls like where these gadget plays have come into play. And that's like just a fun one. You know, as soon as you see a trick play, you're like, oh my God, throw the ball. You know,
please.
That one is a fun prop for me. And then, will the game go into overtime? I always put this prop in because I'm always praying for like an epic Super Bowl that comes down to the end.
Yeah.
And there's no better way of starting off that overtime than being like, I made some money, right? So those 2 props are the ones that I'm going to give out on the show.
Nice. I also throw down Brock Purdy over half an interception. Even though he's only had 1 career interception in his playoff career, I still think Spagnuolo gets to him.
Oh,
so
yeah.
To your point, you know, you felt like he's going to have a turnover. It's half an interception, which means all he has to do is throw 1.
And it'll happen on the first drive. Mark my words. He threw a pick on the first drive against the Packers, and then against the Lions, C.J. Gardner-Johnson dropped the pick.
Yeah.
But it literally was in his hands. Like, I was like, oh my gosh.
This is why
I was back-to-back weeks.
Play defense.
Watch the same thing happen.
Yeah.
The moment's going to be a little too big for the guy.
All right. Finally, let's give some score predictions. I'll go first. I've got it 38-30 Chiefs. I see it as a back-and-forth game with the Niners, but the Niners have 3 drives stall out for 3 points, George, whereas the Chiefs only have 1, and that's the difference in the game to me.
I like that. I'm going 24-14 Chiefs. We're going to see a lot of defense, and we're going to see that game finish off at a 10 because the 49ers are going to be driving down. And they're going to elect to go for it on a 4th down to try to make up for that touchdown.
Yeah.
As opposed to kicking the field goal, and then everyone will, crap on Shanahan some more. Kick the field goal there. Onside kick, 3 timeouts. So what are you doing? 24-14 Chiefs.
I just pray that in that 14, Christian McCaffrey has a touchdown.
Oh, he will.
That's all I care about. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe with your people. Also, please make sure you check out the Randall Cunningham interview. That'll be dropping out this week as well. So make sure you tune into that. Tell us what you think. And before I get out of here, I said I was gonna wear a Redskins Super Bowl jersey this week, so why not start with Mr. 70 Chip himself, John Riggins, the first Super Bowl title for my Washington Redskins in 1982, 2 years before your boy was born.
Jesus.
Yeah. My brothers saw it though; they enjoyed it. That was good for them. But I saw the other 2. I saw Doug Williams and Mark Rippon.
You know what you just did right now? Whereas like the F it John Riggins highlights. And so I just pulled up John Riggins highlights.
Yeah.
Just to make it come together, people.
Yes.
John Riggins, last week Josh said was the best white running back in NFL history. Hey.
I meant it.
We'll let you be the judge. We'll let you be the judge.
Riggo was a beast. As Stone Cold Steve Austin once said, that's how a white boy runs a football.
Oh,
It's nothing but power. There ain't no sexiness here. Christian McCaffrey got some wiggle to him. There's 70 chip right here. So this is the play that won the Super Bowl for us. It was 4th and I think 2, and we went for it. And John Riggins broke a tackle left side and was gone. But yeah, I mean, he still holds records. I can't remember. I think he had over 100 touchdowns in his career. But an all-time great in the Hall of Fame, number 44, John Riggins. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.